Yeah, that's a good question. Let me ask you about that. There's top 10 reasons why people sell their company, and you've talked about three of them. They're just tired, want to get off the merry-go-round. Is there any that create a bigger mess, like partner problems or divorce, something like that? You just like, hey man, let's not touch this because it's just going to be too messy.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got partner issues or there's a lawsuit in play, nobody wants to buy something out where there's a lawsuit hanging out there, especially between two partners, or especially if you're both needed in the business. If you got a partner that's disgruntled but they're absentee, they're kind of maybe they bank the thing to start, and you're going to partner with the person who's running it, and you just want to get the absentee angry owner out. That could work, but if you've got partner issues that are both in the business, you're going to have cultural issues. You're going to have it. You don't know what Pandora's box is going to be.
That's just going to make it harder to sell, even if they're 30% owner. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you want to clean that up. We always say, go ugly early. So if there's an issue with the business, HR or margin, or, a customer just left or a good employee just left, we always put that right in the SIM or in the book up front, because everybody's like, oh, I don't want people to know that right away. Maybe we'll tell them later, or hopefully they won't find it. Well, number one, they are going to find it. There's so much diligence done on these companies because they are paying these premiums. The buyer will find whatever you're trying to hide. And if you do that, it can blow the whole deal, because all of a sudden now you're building all this credibility and this rapport together with a buyer and seller. And all of a sudden they lift up the cards and go, hey, you didn't tell me about that. Oh, well, yeah, I was going to tell you about that. Well, when? Later. It's like, do I really want to, especially if you're rolling equity with a private equity firm, do I want this person owning 20% of my company or still running the company? So, and that's where the retrades come in a lot of times, or they just, the deal will just blow up because.
Yeah. What about divorce? Is that an opportunity, or is that something you?
Any uncertainty is bad. Anytime there's uncertainty, so it's, hey, do you just want to get through the divorce first and then go to market, and or at least you have that worked out, that if the husband or wife owns any shares, who's not in the business, have they agreed in writing that they'll sell and they're not going to hold things up at a certain value or above? Or you don't want, the worst is when you have someone not in the business, or you see it that they don't write up their buy sell agreements right, and you've got somebody who's got a 2% ownership that all of a sudden now is, and maybe that's the manager. And we've seen this. We did a deal probably a year and a half ago where there was two owners absentee now because they had built the company up, and they took their two top managers and gave them both 2.5%. So the two owners went from 50-50 to 47.5.5, and then 2.5 for each of them. They gave it to them for free as a thank you for running the business, even though they're still paying them well. And the business was doing great. But at the end of the day, all of a sudden they felt that they now were owners, that they could control the business because the two other majority owners were absentee. And hey, we want to do this. Well, we don't think you should do that. Well, if you don't want to do that, then we're going to leave and you're out of here and you're screwed. So all of a sudden now the dog was wagging the tail. So you really got to be careful. And in the sale process, they were trying to hold up the deal. And this is something.
How could they? Did they have voting rights?
They had voting rights. Yep. Okay. And so it was one of these things that we're all friends. It all work itself out. We don't need to put all this stuff in writing. And
money changes everything. Tell me that.
Back and bites you. Yeah. So they were trying to buy them out. The partner was the one main partner and the other two small people were trying to buy out the other partner for they started a $6-7 million valuation total. Then they went up to $9 million. And we thought we could get 13.5. And then the other majority partner's like, hey, if you get 13.5, we're in. Well, this was during COVID, so they had a COVID bump. They did really well. We ended up getting $25 million for the company.
Holy crap!
So yeah,
all problems.
Yeah,
solved.
So everybody was happy after that point, but they almost blew the deal up. There was one buyer that was a good buyer that after they met the two managing owners, said, I can't work with these people. I'm pulling my offer off the table. So you want to make sure that these people, especially if they're owners, you're all on the same page. You know who controls, when you get to that sale, that they can't hold you back or that they're,
that's that
they're excited and they're going to help with the sale versus deter the sale because they don't know what this new owner is going to bring and they're worried about change and things like that. So having the ownership team on board and the management team, again, you want to keep things confidential, but at some point in time, in many cases, you have to tell at least your top couple, management people, because the buyers are going to want to meet them at some point anyways. But if they can show well and they're excited for the sale and there's because usually with a new buyer comes with new opportunities, and now they're selling the company versus the owner who's just wants to cash out, that will definitely help in bringing more people, getting more people excited, because now these people are going to stay. They're a proven commodity and they're excited about the future. I want to back, people back people more than they back up a product or a service.
Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you're a subscriber by clicking on this button right here down below. And if you want to watch more serial acquirer interviews, click on this button right here. If you're ready to buy your first business, get my course at dealflowsystem.net right here. Take care. Cheers, John.